here on Channel 1 TV. We are very privileged today to have with us the former chairman of the National Democratic Congress. He actually served also as former minister for Eastern Region. He served as well as the former minister for local government and rural development. Now he's serving the capacity as the board chairman of Ghana Cocoa Board. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Honorable Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. Honorable, warm welcome.
Thank you
to our show here on Channel 1 TV.
Now let me just add that the office that you are is not Cocoa Board office.
That's right.
So if you don't add that one, I'll have trouble. So,
that's right. Yes,
I'm not serving as the political advisor to the vice president.
Exactly.
So that is the office you find yourself in
exactly.
the house.
Exactly.
So I thought that I should put that one in perspective.
Very, very important, Honorable. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Honorable has rightly said, he is the political advisor to the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you very much, Honorable. Viewers, our nation is mourning. Ghana is mourning. We have lost the longest serving First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings. We have with us one of the finest personalities who can best share with us much about our mother. That is why we have Honorable with us today. Honorable, the unfortunate has happened to us as a nation. How did you first receive the news about the loss of Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings?
First of all, thank you for the opportunity. Yesterday, I was at the Cocoa Board headquarters. We were about to begin a board meeting, and then my chief executive flipped through his phone and said, there seems to be some bad news, but he wants to cross-check. I didn't have my phone with me. It was later on that he said, this is the information that is going wrong, that we've lost our former First Lady. The news hit me like a bullet because I haven't heard of her ailment or haven't heard of any challenge as far as her health is concerned. And of late, I've been seeing her on some official programs like the recent Asante Hima funeral, and then some other funerals, programs and others. So I was very taken aback and received the news of shock that we could lose. We call her Madam. Madam, I want to join Excellency the President, who has issued a statement and declared 3 days of national mourning, and also on behalf of Her Excellency the Vice President, who is currently out of the country, to express my deepest condolences to the bereaved family, especially the children, Zanato, the siblings, for such a difficult moment that they find themselves in, and pray that the good Lord will give them the strength.
Now, what are some of the fond memories you have about Her Excellency?
I have served in government for a very long time. That's right. Way back in 1993, 94, when I was made the district chief executive for Antiaqua, which is almost about 32 years ago. And so we have walked the path a very long way. And I've had several encounters with Her Excellency sometimes in her personal capacity as the president of the 31st Zimbabweans movement, and sometimes as the First Lady, who accompany His Excellency the President to programs. Subsequently, I became a deputy minister for the Eastern region between 1997 and 2001 January when it was the election. And so that also afforded me the opportunity of coming very close to her, because you know that she was a workaholic. She was not more or less an armchair first lady. She moves around a lot and will visit you in the region and then go around the district to supervise projects that are being undertaken by the 31st Development Movement. She took particular interest in my district, Fantiakwa, because of an afforestation program that the 31st Development Movement were undertaking in the Fantiakwa area, around the Begro forest area. Okay. And I remember one day when she paid a visit to the district and decided to go to the forest herself to go and visit the place and see how the project is going. I mean, this was a rainy period. The roads were very bad. And I tried to persuade her, but she said she would go. And we went and she stepped out of her car and we were moving through the forest to see how the trees that they planted this thing how many years ago, and the forestry people were taking her through all those. And so that is another drive in our order. So always want to be there herself and not want to receive reports about the progress that her activities under the 31st Development was going through. But I'll tell you a story. No, please do. The first time she came to Fantiakwa as a young DC, I think at that time I was just about 29 years old. And was one of the youngest DCs in the country. And she visited my district to undertake some projects because she had the 31st December movement KG, one of the model KGs, kindergartens, at the time in Bekro, together with the afforestation program, and then some income generating activities like gari making processing and oil palm processing and others that the women were backing upon. So she paid a visit to me and came to the residence. When I greeted her, the first thing that she said was, "Hey, this is Jerry." And then I knew where that comment could land me. And so do you have Jerry? No, my hair was that's right. And I have this curly hair. Okay, so that's it. Even today, if I decide not to Baba for some time, about 4 weeks, you see it come. So I said, "Madam, if you like, I'll go and call my mother to come and explain to me. I've never put even a pomade in my hair before. This is my natural hair." And people around there said, "Oh, for some people, there's a hand and the So I was saved by the bed because I can imagine what would have happened to me. Because around that time, the 1 o'clock news was always the hottest. When DCs will be removed by 1 o'clock news, we say that DCs are removed. So that's just on the lighter side. So I told Madam, and I said, "Madam, this is my natural hair. I have not touched it with anything. So please, I beg you, this one there. Have mercy." Another thing that she's particular about is about kindness. Kindness. You know the NDC kindness. Yes. And so if you are not careful and Madam visits you and see some other colors different from that are not in conformity with what she wants to see from you, she will draw your attention, and sometimes you feel that you have forgotten about it. I remember her part was blue and white. And you know what blue and white what do you use to add that? So that is how I have known her. I've known her to be somebody who was very focused and determined to succeed whatever she wants to do. She is somebody who created opportunity for the vulnerable, the poor, and and the disadvantaged people. So sometimes you see her going to a village, and I know one young lady there, but then we had two of them. One was Bodua from Usino, may her soul rest in peace, and Bohema from Bagro. And these are people that she just will pick and then send them through a lot of training, empower them, give them project management practices, and then allow them to do the supervision themselves. So she was somebody who was always ready to empower people. She was somebody who was always ready to identify talents and try and put those talents the best use for the advancement of the country. And I have been a beneficiary of such opportunity. In 1995, when VAT was being introduced, and then there was a lot of hue and cry, and then it brought this Kumipeko demonstration and all those. Yes. And since President Rollins, being a very listening president, decided to withdraw the VAT. And so in 1997, I think if I remember assessment, in 1997 it was reintroduced. And before the reintroduction, there was a need for public sensitization, because one of the setback with the first one was that there was not enough consultation, public engagement, and public education on it. And so, Madam, together with President Rollins, decided to do some sensitization by going to markets themselves and organizing debates where the market women, the business community, and others will be called, and then some orientation were giving them, explanations were giving them about why the need for VAT, because they thought that our taxation system was not bringing enough to support the growth of the economy. And so their visit to the eastern region took us first to Suhum market, and Suhum has a thriving market. Yes. And so we went to Suhum lorry station, organized a debate, they brought the women, and I was by then the deputy minister, regional minister. Yeah. My boss was the late Patient Sabi, if you have heard that name. Yes. She was the regional minister, I was the deputy. Some official engagement had taken her out of the country. So you were in charge. It fell on me to be in charge and to take the, those times when they say runners and the wife are visiting your region, sometimes I have to go and pray and fast for 3 days and ask the good Lord not to leave you with temptation, because anytime that they finish their trip and they say, you could have done well, you go to the room and then lay before your bed and thank Almighty God for His mercies. And this is the kind of discipline that they brought into the system. That's right. And moving straight from the revolution into the constitutional era, some of the traits within the revolutionary time, voluntarism, nationalism, patriotism, and others were the order of the day. That's right. So we went to some, and in the process, as a deputy regional minister who had brought them there, I had to be given a platform to also speak on the VAT. And so I got up and I spoke and I explained some of the things. And after my speech, and I went there and sat down. The woman I'm talking about, JJ, yes, he called me. He said, Chiano, General himself, Chiano, come and shake me. If I didn't understand what Chiano was saying, I said, what is this? Then somebody said, it's a young lady that it's like a branch here. Okay. So we went to Advocacy, and I think we ended up. So Rollins himself, he shook hands with you to commend you for how well he had spoken about the VAT. So in a few weeks' time, I was there when I had a call that I must come to Accra. They need me at the Ministry of Finance. To do what? I have been nominated by His Excellency the President to serve on the VAT board. Means that when they came around, they observed him, critically observed him. And then after taking them through the region and all those things, they felt that, oh, I have something that I can contribute to. So I was a member of the VAT board. Interesting. But at that time, Honorable Setepe, our former finance minister, and the former Commissioner General Branson, who was the Commissioner General of the GRA, were the technical officers of the VAT. In fact, the VAT commissioner by then was Wanda Samoa. And so I was brought in as a board member. And at that time, initially it was Honorable Kabipra who was a board chairman. But later on, Ambassador Spilgabra took over as a board chairman. So it was under the tutelage and direction of Spilgabra that the new VAT was introduced. And so I also had the same opportunity to move around the whole country of the VAT board with Spilgabra and the chairman to do the same sensitizations. And then we were able to smoothly implement the second coming of VAT. So I just to let you know how the role is, both His Excellency and Madam. Forgive me when I say Madam, this is Rollins will look at you, and when you do something good, they will pat you on your shoulders and commend you. When you do something bad to you, you can pay dearly for it. They have very little room for mistakes, and that is how I have known her to be. She was passionate about women affairs. She was passionate about gender issues and affirmative action. I believe that Beijing for the affirmative action, yes, right. She catapulted women empowerment to a very high level, and taught women to have self-belief that they can on their own, do something for themselves, and that the women's role is not only in the kitchen, and the women can play a very frontal role in the social, political and social economic development of our country. So through her, she managed to bring a lot more of these women through the 31st December Women's Movement. Some became female DCs, some became ministers, some became presiding members of assembly. You can imagine the likes of Mama Beniwado, that's why and others all went through the assembly process and then came into the limelight. So she really championed women emancipation, women empowerment, and also one of the things that she did was to care for children, because all along the issue of children had not come into the front burner. So it was through her initiative that these kindergartens were established, and then sometimes they were made integral part of the market society that we found ourselves. This morning I listened to some of the market women and the market queens who were speaking about what the establishment of daycare centers. And the women were saying that a lot of doctors, professors, engineers, lawyers, and others that we have today all came through that system. And I thought that if we were documenting enough, this was a time for us to have called those people who went through the, because it's a long time. If you look at from 1981 and then through to 1992 when we came into constitutional rule until 2000 when President Rawlings handed over and bowed out of the presidency. It spans a long period of time. Yes. And so I think that if there's one person that we have to celebrate for her role, pioneering in women women emancipation empowerment, and the care for the vulnerable and children, then we have to look at.
Beyond the official relationships, did you have any relationship with the family? Was there any way you got yourself involved into the Rollinses and their family affairs?
Oh, not very close.
Okay.
Not very close.
Okay.
Because coming from the eastern region, a distance from Accra, coming close to Rollins was always come with fear and trepidation. But when you come close to Rollins, you come to realize that
Such a nice
person, very affable person. But I must say that I came more closer when I came into the national politics and became the national organizer of the NDC.
Okay.
When we lost power in 2000 and we started the reorganization of the party, I was fortunate to have been part of the reorganization team, which was led by Dr. Beda Samuel and then Allied Muhammad Yusuf, which took us around the whole country to as it were, find out what led to our loss and defeat in the 2000 elections and the way forward. I was the youngest person on that team, and so that brought me closer. Okay. Then in 2002, whilst I was a member of parliament, I contested for national organizer and became the national organizer of the party.
That's right.
So as a national organizer, it was then easy for me to get closer. Around that time, position organization was very difficult. We didn't have a lot of things that we needed to use for campaign and all those things. In terms of resources. But Nana Kwedu managed to get her PE systems, cinema vans, and all those things. So anytime there is a by-election and we need this, I had to go to her. And then she,
because you are the organizer, the national organizer,
she says that apply right officially because I want you to send the things and bring them to me in one full piece. That's right. So I'm right. I'll go there. I'll go and talk to her. She will release some of the Land Rover and other equipment, PA system for us to go and use it for by-election campaigns and others. And so it brought me a little closer to them. But finally, when I eventually became the chairman of the party, by virtue of that position, I had no other option than to always get closer to His Excellency President Rollins. Around that time, because she fell out of the party after the attempt to contest presidential. So I used to go there. My going there was to go to the founder of the party, who is John Rollins, and then to have interactions and to have meetings and others. And you know that the founder had his own office. Madam also had her own office and others. So I was not going towards that line. I was going towards the other line.
So you were the national organizer. When the division came, she decided to go her way with her own political party, NDP. How were you able to manage that, devoid of having personal issues with her? How were you able to manage the situation?
Well, because I've known her for a very long time, and we have that personal relationship. Even though she broke away from her party, I don't think that there was any deep acrimony between herself and myself. Anytime that I go and meet her, I go and do what I want to do, and then I'll leave. So that was it. Even with my chairmanship, I tried very, very hard through all sorts of means to ensure that we repair the broken relationship and try and narrow down the gap instead of widening it.
So, Honorable, what have we lost as a nation? Losing Her Excellency Nana Adjumani Rollins. What have we lost?
I think we have lost somebody who still, for me, in terms of women in politics, in terms of, if you want to talk about the Yasadua in Ghana politics, then we can say that Colonel always represent Yasadua in Ghana politics. Sometimes she was too there, but you could see that this is what she wants to do, and she'll go ahead and do it. Damn the consequences.
That's right.
And she'll still be pursuing what her passion is like. So we've lost a great role model for the women of this country, especially those who are in the field of politics and public service, because she represents the height of what we could get in terms of women activism, and beyond Beijing and beyond 31st Zimbabwe. I believe that she has left a very indelible mark when it comes to women participation in governance in this country, and through her effort she brought a lot of people. It's unfortunate that for the past 2 years we lost Madame Sharaiti, who used to be the secretary to the 31st, and then only a few weeks or about a month ago we lost Madame Cecilia Johnson, who, and these were the very core behind the 31st. But I believe that because of the kind of training and capacity that he gave to women, we still have a lot more women who are still around to continue the kind of work that. So if you look at the fact that children and women ministry have been established to take care of the vulnerable, the children, women, the aged, and all those things. It is the pioneering work that she did, which actually opened the floodgate and also increased the consciousness of the Ghanaian people that there's a need for us to focus on these areas. So, for me, she indeed is the doyen of women emancipation and women politics. You know that this interstate succession law is something that she championed. She championed it and championed it until the law was established. And today, as a result of Nana Kondu's paneling, women do not suffer necessarily when their spouses die, and then their children are catered for. The law is there, the law is working. She's one person who really wants to champion, and we need to salute her and then pray that the Almighty God will find a resting place for her, and her name will definitely be written in gold anytime that we talk about women in politics and we talk about former first ladies. I think that she played her role very well.
Viewers, we've been talking to a former district chief executive of Antiaqua, two-time MP of Antiaqua, former deputy regional minister of the Eastern Region, former regional minister of the Eastern Region, former minister of local government and rural development, now the political advisor to the vice president of the Republic of Ghana, also serving as the board chairman of Ghana Cocoa Board. That is a tall list of great portfolios that this gentleman has held in developing the Republic of Ghana. Honorable Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. Honorable, thank you very, very much for making time with us on Volunteers TV show here on Channel 1 TV and walking us through the journey you have had with the late Her Excellency Nana Kunenu Ajima Rollins. We thank you very much for your time. Viewers, thank you for making time with us. As we mourn our mother, let's all remember one thing that she stood for: women empowerment. She stood for patriotism. She stood for active citizenship. She stood for selflessness and nation building. Thank you very much, viewers. See you same time next week. Bye for now.